How's it, guys? So this was a very cool race. I finally got my sportsmanship rating back up to S after grinding, avoiding as much contact as I can. I improved my qualification time. I grabbed the Atenza. I think I qualified on a 31.9. Guys in front of me, I think, were 31.8 or somewhere along the lines. They were point 0.1 faster than the two guys in front. So starting off the line, I'd done about 8 to 10 laps of this Atenza, and I felt it gets good drive coming out the corners, and I think that's what makes its time on top of the Porsche. Ferrari in front of me, I don't know why he chose the Ferrari, but I thought it would be a good battle with 4 different manufacturers in the top 4. And the Ferrari put in a proper drift around that S. As you can see, he is absolutely all over the place. So I got the drive coming down to the left-hander, and I pulled second place. The Ferrari, I think, got a bit anxious here and started to try play catch-up. He tried his hardest to try keep up. Oh, traction control. And he lost it coming through the sector here. And him and the Merc actually had a little clashing as well. So there, Ferrari regains it through the right-hander. Too early on the gas again and hit the Merc. So there goes third and fourth. So this guy had a very dirty race. He got up to third place, tried to defend it as much as he can, which is fine. This guy was very quick. He got the fastest lap of the race, ran a consistent 33 dead, even with worn tyres. He was sitting at 33.1, 33.2, 33.3s, and you'll notice no traction control. So he was rated number 1 in the lobby. We'll get back to him. He had a bit of a tussle with this guy over here, and we've got a guy from SA. So GTSA Shadow, shout out to you. Nice livery. I like the SA flag on the bonnet, and I see your helmet's also got the SA livery, which is quite cool. Right, so I started to pull in the Beatle with traction control. I'm not going to rip him off too much because he actually raced very clean with traction control. Bloody Beatles. So coming down into the next corner, I actually pulled in quite a lot of time through this left hand. I noticed he was braking a little bit too late, and the later he brakes, the more he runs wide, and that's where I started to pull him in. In fact, that's actually where I overtook him. But then he overtook me back with a very good move, which we'll get to just now. Right, so the Merc and the Hungarian and the Tenza, they, like I say, they had a little tussle. Merc raced very clean. He looked for a way past as much as he could. My saving grace is that the Tenza actually held the Merc up for so long, because the Merc was eventually about 3 seconds behind me and started to pull me in. So Merc having a look on the inside, the Tenza left the door open, so the Merc took the opportunity, backed out through the left-hander. But then you'll notice into this next left-hander, he put his nose straight in when he clearly didn't have the overtaking move. So pushed him wide. Merc caught it. Very good move there from the Mercedes-Benz to catch that. And no penalty. He actually did get an SR up, which irritates me quite profusely. So in the front, the Beatle is about a second ahead of me after the first lap, and I started to reel him in. Bit boring for the first couple of laps. We'll get back to that just now. Right, so you'll see the Merc looks for the inside, and the Atenza just holds that inside. So GTA's driver held into the battle. This Lamborghini behind the GTA's driver was also very quick. Traction control. Okay, so Atenza goes defensive. Merc runs to the outside, brakes a little bit earlier, tries to get the undercut. The Atenza holds the inside. The Merc actually left a little bit too much space, and I thought that GTSA driver was going to take the position, but he didn't. Right, coming to the double right-handed, Tenza goes defensive. Merc runs it in, tries to get the inside line on the second right-hander. Wasn't close enough. Okay, at this stage, I'm getting nice and close to this Beatle. Some places the Beatle was actually quite good. So in the slipstream, I could slowly pull him in, not too quickly. But exiting this corner, I noticed he got some good drive majority of the time. But he had traction control, so it's understandable. Okay, so Merc tries to line the Atenza up coming onto the straights. very quick in a straight line. Tries to go around the outside. Unfortunately, through this section, you're not going to carry enough speed to pass him on the outside. So you have to try and get next to him over here, which he does. Okay, Tenza squeezes him on the brakes. Tenza has the inside line. The Merc backs out again. GTA's driver saw the gap, a little bit of a bump, but he did give the position back to the Mercedes-Benz. Okay, through all this, the Huracan's trying his hardest to try and get into this little scrap in the front here. Right, so this is where I got my overtake. So I look on the inside, put my nose in. Beatle tries to come back on the inside, just didn't have enough speed. I gave him the space. I braked a little bit later there, left the door on the inside because I know the next corner is the left-hander, and I moved into first place. So when I was in first place, the Beatle was between 0.2 and 0.7 behind me. I couldn't shake him more than a second. As I get the drive out the corner, the slipstream pulls him back into play. So through this left-hander, carry good speed onto the brakes, into the last corner, coming onto the main straight. Like I say, the Beatle's in my slipstream and he just holds there. Okay, one thing I actually realized only halfway through the race is I can rev this car a little bit more to get more speed out of it. Alright, so I go kind of defensive. I see the Beetle sticks on the outside and I thought, alright, cool. Run my normal line. And through this left hand is where I pulled the Beetle. So I noticed I pulled like half a tenth through that corner coming down into the straight, and then he regains it again with the slipstream. So there I pull quite a nice gap on him as well, get some good drive on the exit. Okay, we'll get back to that one just now. So Mercedes-Benz then catches up to the Atenza again. By this time he had already dropped the two guys behind him. Okay, so although the Atenza put the nose in, this guy's got far more patience than I do. This Mercedes-Benz actually kept it quite clean. So door open on the inside, the Merc looks onto the inside. Okay, and gets the position. So by this time I'm about 3 or 4 seconds or something in front of the Mercedes-Benz, and I thought we had a comfortable lead. And you'll notice I actually start to flash the Beetle to say to him, come, let's go, let's go, let's go. Because this Merc started hauling. So Merc got the fastest lap of the race, which was this lap now, although he overtook the Atenza. I think he did a 32 dead. Let's have a look. .33.1, okay, it wasn't that lap. Right, so we're still sitting in the 33s. Obviously, I tried to stop the fighting as much as I could just to get away from the guys behind us. The Beetle was adamant of getting past. Again, coming to this corner, the Beetle brakes a little bit later than me, but I get the drive coming out. Bit of a tussle started to happen here. The Lambo's looking for a way past. And towards the end of the race, this Lambo really got consistent timing, but he was just too far back to get the position, to catch up to us at least. Right, that's an interesting choice, the Supra here. I found that the Supra is very, very torquey. So when you accelerate, that's exactly what happens, even with traction control. Traction control, traction control, traction control, no traction control. Michiman actually qualified by me. This is the Mercedes-Benz that was actually taken out by the Ferrari. And if I'm not mistaken, the Ferrari, there he is. He abandons the race, unfortunately. So a lot of guys with traction control, as you can see. Right, so 33.7. One of my biggest problems is I tend to focus too much on the mirrors. I need to start focusing on what's going on in front of me. But with this game, you have to watch constantly what the guys behind you are doing. They're going to dive you from a lap behind or 2 corners behind. So I'm very hesitant coming into some corners. I got a little bit more comfortable after the Beatle was behind me for a while, except for this corner. But otherwise, I could run my normal line and really put the power down. Okay, this is where the Beatle overtook me, and again, very good overtaking move. So I hold the inside line. I got some bad drive coming out, touch the rumbles, held the inside, and I was like, excellent, I've got it. And the Beatle just tucks his nose on the inside. So I leave the space again, going into the left-hander. I've got the inside line, and he just had his nose in front of me and passed me around the outside. As you'll see, no contact. So I looked for the inside, but I was just too far behind, so I pulled out. So by this time you'll notice I'm flashing this Beatle just to say, hey, come, we need to get a move on. So whenever I could, I just wanted to bump draft him just so we can get a move on, because this guy was hunting us down. See me flashing him over there. I'm not going to overtake you, bud. Come on the racing line. Let's get away from this guy. So Beetle goes semi-defensive. Okay, but this time I was reasonably split up. So Merc had a bit of air. Lambo had a bit of air. The Hungarian was picking up penalties left, right, and centre, and GTSA was fighting for the 5th position. Okay. So you'll notice a little bump draft. Cup, let's go. Okay, so it was very much racing from here. Nothing too dramatic. I stayed within that distance from the Beetle. Okay, I stuffed up a little bit here, but I pulled him in again. Have a look at those times. 33 dead, 33 dead, 33 1, 33 dead. Very consistent times by the Mercedes-Benz. The Lambo as well. 33 dead, 33 dead, 33 8. That's when he overtook. So I was watching my Delta, and this Mercedes-Benz was pulling us in between half a second and about 0.8 a lap. So I didn't want to overtake now. I didn't want to fight and let the Merc catch up, because I saw that he was quite quick. So I wanted to push it to like lap 11 and then try to get close enough for the overtake on 11 or 12. By that time, lap 10, overtaking back markers. Overtaking back markers again. Alright, so on to 11. Have a look how close this Mercedes-Benz is to us. So by this time I think it was 1.5 seconds behind us, just with our slipstream length. So I thought, okay, now I need to pounce. I really need to get in front of this Beetle. If the Merc does catch up, they could potentially start fighting and make a little bit of a gap for me. But this track is quite difficult to overtake on. So it is a matter of firstly getting close to him, secondly trying to get good drive out of a corner. Now you'll notice I've also got the worst tyre wear on the front right compared to everybody else. So Lambo, Mercedes-Benz, I've got slightly more wear on the front right tyre. So the corners like this, I tend to scrub a lot more speed off on the front. Okay, let's go forward a little bit more. So here I start to catch him, putting the pressure on, and you can see how he's braking in the corners and cars sliding and all over the place. But like I say, this time here comes the boogeyman, and behind him is old Hazard Hurricane. Okay, so I thought if I can line this corner up, turn in a little bit later, get on the gas sooner so we could get some drive coming up the straight. Maybe if he messes up, I could catch up and pass him on the inside into turn 1. He got fairly decent drive, so I flashed him to say, come, we need to go. This guy's catching us. I'm coming on to the last lap. So I'm within slipstream, not close enough for the overtake, so again, try line him up for the outside of the center S's. Going into the left hand. I know he brakes later than me, but if I could get drive coming out here and get my nose in, I could potentially get the position. Look on the inside, just not close enough. So even with the inside line, you'll notice how close I stay to him. Right, so Merck's hunting us down. Now I'm getting a little bit nervous. He's about 0.4 behind me. I know how quick he is. I've seen on the Delta how he keeps closing down. I thought to myself, alright, there's only 2 places he could overtake me here. It's either this right-hander, which he was too far, or the last left-hander going onto the straight. And if he gets good drive from there, oh, and he lost it. So here I looked at my mirror and I saw he was quite far behind me. I was like, excellent. So I'll run my normal line here to try to get the drive on the Beatle coming onto the main straight. Now have a look at this. So I get good drive, sitting in the slipstream. He leaves the gap on the inside. I thought, alright, and he closes the inside. I probably could have shoved my nose in there, but I thought rather not. And 0.06 of a difference between us. I think if it was an extra 50, 100 meters, I might have had the position. But it's good to finally get a good race. So I got the 3rd fastest lap. Obviously gained 2 positions, and I got a clean race. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's a clean race on Gran Turismo. Not often we do this. But thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.